We are going to one of my favorite states to go.
Yep.
Missouri at Bristle Ridge Whitetails.
I was in the same stand as I was in last year, shot that monster. We're sitting there, and I mean, we're seeing bucks out of this stand. Just, they're out of range. That's a really, really nice buck. But he's 3.5 yard deer. I heard the safety click off. JC's gonna be mad about that one. Oh, that's a good buck.
Quite a hard time to get him to stop. Big 8-point, carries mass out into his tines. I mean, just a bruiser. We are going to one of my favorite states to go.
Yep.
Missouri at Bristle Ridge Whitetails. I've been going to Missouri for a long time. Since 2014, I've been hunting in Missouri. And last year, with you, was the first year I hunted with a rifle.
Yep.
And we both tagged
out.
Giants, both of us.
Yep.
So like hunting with a rifle is just easy.
It's easy. It's easy.
Oh, baby. Baby. That's what I'm talking about, folks, right there. Woo!
For everything they've done for me over the years, I'm just truly grateful. And this is a very big deer, and I'm humbled to have the opportunity. Last season, we touched on my relationship with Sean and Josh, how that kind of got started in the outfitting business. What we didn't touch on was their business partner, the Beergos,
Right.
which is actually a lot of the land that we actually hunt on is the Beergo land. And they have a world-class Angus beef operation.
It's amazing.
I'm Bryson Beergo. Beergo Angus Farms was founded in 1950 by my grandfather, Forrest Beergo. So now I'm the third generation. Founded by my grandfather and carried on by my father, Andrew Beergo, and now it's carried on by myself and my brothers, Mark and Drew. So my grandpa started with one cow and her two heifers, her two daughters. And today we run over 600 registered Angus cows. And 90% of those cows will stem back to that one original cow my grandfather bought in 1950. One of the crazy things about the cattle industry is the people outside of it don't realize the differences among the cattle. So one of the big differences, the different breeds, whether it be Angus, which we raise, but there's also the Herefords, the Charolais, the Gelbies, the Red Angus. So there's a lot of different breeds, but in the United States, there will be more Angus registered cattle than all the other breeds combined. One of the big things that differentiates Angus from the rest of the breeds is the marbling, the meat quality. It's allowed it to grow. Another big aspect of the Angus versus other breeds is the mothering ability of the cows. So even within a breed, there's so much variance within the animals. And one of the biggest things that we're working on right now is efficiency. You'll see animals that eat twice as much. They look exactly the same, but they'll eat twice as much.
Hi, I'm Jeff Clark, and I'm in business development and sales for C-Lock, and we manufacture the product Smart Feed that you see right behind me here. So all the bulls or cows that are on test have an electronic tag in their ear. This scans that tag so we know what individual animal is going to the feed bunk, and as soon as it scans that tag, this takes a weight and we know how much feed is in the bunk. As they remove their head, another scan is made and another weight is taken, and we know exactly how much each individual animal has eaten. This technology is used to maximize efficiency by allowing ranchers like Beergo Angus to identify cattle in their herd that are top performers, that do more with less, cattle that gain a lot of weight and consume less feed than their counterparts. So as you identify these animals, you're then able to go and breed these animals to your cow herd to expand and proliferate those feed-efficient genetics in your herd.
At Bristle Angus, we have primarily 2 sales a year. We have one in the fall in October, and we have one coming up here in February. We're super excited about it. You know, I think we're expecting, somewhere close to 200 buyers here tomorrow.
I guess probably 3 or 4 years ago was my first trip up here, and I was really, really impressed at the longevity of the cattle. There was cows in the pastures that were 12 to 15 years old with just awesome calves on their side, and they were good footed and good uddered. And
we'll get all the cattle pinned up. People start rolling in about 9:30 or 10. The crowd usually starts coming. People start meandering all about.
I'm Nick Prevost, and we are Roscoe Valley Cattle Company in southeast Iowa. The cattle that are here are some of the best footed cattle you're ever going to find in the country, in my opinion. And in the industry we're at, the purebred Angus deal, that's really, really hard to do.
I'm Ian McClure. I own Precise Cattle from Watkinsville, Georgia. We're looking for good quality Angus bulls and females, and that's why I'm here today.
About 11:30, food will show up and people will start packing this place, and then the excitement all happens. At 12:30, the sale will start. We'll sell about 120 bulls tomorrow. We'll sell close to 30 registered females, and then there'll be another 100 commercial females of our customers.
It's my honor and my privilege to welcome you all to Bristle Angus Farms.
80, now 5, 85,000, how much of it 80, how much of it 80, how much of it 85, now 90,000, down 90, now 95, how much of it 95, how much of it down 95, how much of it 95, 800, how much of it 105, sold him $105,000, $105,000, let's give him a great big hand. Down, negative 78,000, negative 75, 17, 17,000, 20, 17, 18, that's a good bull, $17,000. How much of that, 12, how much of it 12,000, down 12, down 12, 11, down 12, what I've had. Sold him $11,500.
We have a store that we're open here on site. Also, we're in the process of working on shipping, and you can visit our website, BriggleAngusBeef.com, and you can check it out and give me a call, and I can get you hooked up with some high quality beef. The people involved with Bristle Ridge, my brother Drew, Sean, and Josh, they were all good buddies, and they all have cattle together, so it's really a neat tie-in for them to be able to run cattle together, but also have this hunting club that they all enjoy.
It's opening day. Scope's a little loose, we'll just tighten it up. I think I got some wrenches in the truck.
Oh, man.
It'll be all right.
Josh and Sean sit in the same stand as I was in last year and shot that monster. We're sitting there, and I mean, we're seeing bucks out of this stand. Just, they're out of range. There's a deer right there. That's a stud. He's gonna be a stud next year, the year after. Well, first morning is done. Had a great morning. Seen a really nice young buck, seen another nice young buck, and then had a coyote playing in front of us all morning and some turkeys. So that's a good opening morning. We're gonna go pick up Randy, go catch up with JC, and probably set up a bog blind for this evening hunt on a different farm. The wind's changing, so.
Might have overdone the whole outfit for the weather.
I'm sweating. That's exciting. That's a really, really nice buck. Quite frankly, that's a really nice deer, especially for me. But he's a 3.5-year-old deer. Trying to shoot 4.5-year-old nuck, especially when you got the old boomstick in your hand. And he about heard the safety click off. But we got up and set up another set. Right. And tried to close the distance. Well, they just stopped coming out. Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things that we saw some younger bucks, of course, but we never saw a mature buck that we were going after.
It should be cooking with JC, not VA and JC. Jesus.
We just pulled in this cut bean field we hunted a couple days ago. We put a brand new bog ground blind up, and just the fence is right behind us, gate's right behind us. I see my blind, and it's not where we parked it. Oops, that's far bad. It's windy. It's been windy the last 2 days, obviously. And yeah, that's directly that northwest wind put it right there in the field. Looks good to me. We'll set it back up and we'll kill one tonight. Well, it is the middle of the day here in northwestern Missouri. And we find ourselves sitting on a cut bean field right now, hoping to catch a big mature buck walking along this field edge before it gets dark. We got a perfect wind, westerly wind blowing right in our face. This whole edge is like laid out in front of us. It's like a little cove back here. And like I said, we just need one on the edge of the timber and it'll give us a shot. So we haven't seen a mature buck yet, but just a matter of time. There's a deer right there. That's a buck. He's looking at us. A stud, absolute stud of an 8-point comes out and walks exactly like we wanted, a deer to do. I mean, just a toad, but he looked like a 3-year-old to me. Dude, I think he's 3, man. So, that's a great encounter with a great buck. I just think he was a 3-year-old. Definitely couldn't get him before. Trust me, I tried. He's a great buck. Real tall, tight, tall 8-point. But Josh and Sean are big on getting them to the right age so they can be the right size. And I don't think he was quite there. JC's gonna be mad about that one. I frankly didn't want to let Sean and Josh and Drew down.
Right.
By shooting something that wasn't a good representation of what they have to offer.
Right.
And now don't get me wrong, everyone out there, I would have loved to pull the trigger on that buck. I mean, he's a stud. But again, I wanted to shoot something that was a representation, a solid representation of what Bristle Ridge Whitetails has to offer. And what you and I did last year, killing those 2 giants, that's a great representation of the caliber of bucks that you can take home. And I just wanted a mature deer, and they have a bunch of them.
Tons of them.
One.
Yeah, they ton of them.
And so I passed some bucks that normally I wouldn't pass up.
Right.
But the problem with this particular hunt, in the middle of November, these deer are holed up with does. They're locked down. And we're essentially trying to get lucky and trying to catch one in between does, going from this doe to this doe or looking for the next doe. This cow probably lived on this property, which is pretty cool. Some good jerky. Or trying to catch one coming out right behind a doe.
Right.
And so this time of year, it's all about waiting. Just about putting your time out in the field and hoping one gets, in eyesight, basically.
Right.
Luckily, Josh and Sean didn't care how long I stayed, so I just kept staying.
Right.
And I was gonna wait until one walked in front of me.
Yep.
Last hunt, this is it, last sit for us.
Yeah, and so you had to leave.
I had to leave.
You had obligations.
Yep.
You have a life and a family.
Yeah. Who does that?
It's ridiculous.
Who does that hunting?
It's ridiculous. I stayed because I knew that it was a matter of time of waiting in the woods that a mature deer was going to walk in front of me.
Yes.
Really windy. You would think we'd be protected in this blind. But we're not. By far, slowest hunt we've had all morning. We gotta go back to the cabin and check out. I got a flat tire, so I'm gonna take care of that. But we'll be back out here as soon as we can. This time of year is all about putting in your time and putting your time in good spots with good wind, and good things will happen. We are getting down right now. It's because we have to. Back soon. About to head out. We got a special guest with us today. Josh McMillan himself is going to be blessing us with his presence. It is around 70 degrees and the wind is blowing about 20 plus miles an hour. But I feel good. It's the middle of November. Deer have been locked down pretty hard the last week. This is our 6th day of hunting. We've seen some deer. We've seen some really nice young deer. And on day 7, the morning of day 7, it was one of them picture perfect mornings, crisp, cold.
Well, it's just breaking day here in northwestern Missouri at Bristle Ridge Whitetails. To say that I'm excited would be an understatement. It has been hot and windy the last few days. But today, at a front roll in, it's in the 30s right now, north wind. Temperatures, it's only getting in the 50s today, so I feel good about movement. Only problem is it's like the middle of November. Deer are pretty well locked down, so trying to catch bucks in between does. Possibly a buck following a doe out in the open somewhere, but I am super excited to be sitting where I am right here on a creek bottom. As you can tell, probably around me, surrounded by timber. And around this creek bottom, a lot of deer moving up and down this creek, and a lot of deer moving up and through these blocks of timber. So, sitting in a tower blind, trying to get one within range. Yeah. Doe's looking back behind her. Oh, there's a deer right there. Oh, it's a spiking. Oh, there's a mouse coming. Oh, there's a buck coming. Another buck. Oh, that's a good buck. That's a good buck. Okay. Well, that's right. He's around. It's a nice 8-point. There he comes. He ain't gonna stop. How quickly can things change, buddy? Were you on him?
Yeah,
The him?
I think so. I jumped a little bit.
Yeah. I was rock solid. I know that. That was a big mature 8-point. There's another buck right there. That's a good buck. That is crazy. We had a doe out in front of us. I was like, man, it'd be nice to have a buck right there. And we heard grunting and a ruckus down there in that bottom. And we look up, and then a doe is barreling across that field with a little cowhorn spike behind her. And I was like, yep, that's about what we've been seeing. And they run across the field and look up again, and then boom. At the size of this buck. This is a toad.
Did you see that little 8-point?
Yeah, we seen him, dude. There was just a gob of them right there to our north in the timber. like little bucks, chasing a couple does in there. And then this one was completely unrelated to all those. There was a doe in front of us with black hawks. Looked like she'd already been bred. Now they came up out down there, out of that bottom.
And you've seen them there, and they circled.
They ran up to the field to us, like we're sitting in the blind. They ran up to the field to us, and then he came straight at us, and then turned, and I hollered as loud as I could, couldn't get him to stop. Ran into the timber, cut the corner right here, still in the same field. Ran to this timber right here, and then crossed. It was chaos, dude. It was chaos for, yeah.
Did he stop for you?
He stopped on his own. I was gonna shoot him walking or trotting if I had to, but he stopped on his own, so.
He did it all?
Yeah. He did, yeah. It's gonna piece together amazing. It's a great hunt. It's a long, you know, we struggled. This is our 7th day, and this is really our first mature deer we've had any kind of good look at. So.
It struggled for.
Oh, I know. It's just locked down. It's locked down, yeah. And we got down to this deer. I mean, that's exactly what you want. Now, this deer is smaller, antler-wise,
Right.
than
Body-wise.
the 8-point that I passed up earlier in the week. Actually, probably quite a bit smaller. But the body on this thing was just ridiculous. It was a tank.
Yep.
His head, he had a big horse head on him, just a big old, just an old face. I mean, it's a big deer.
Right.
Big old neck on him. I could not be more proud to have waited it out and to get a shot opportunity on an animal of that caliber. Just a big stud of an 8-point. You know, I say this about a lot of people that I hunt with, but it's like going up there and being with family.
Yes, exactly.
I have been doing this long enough and going with enough people that they feel like family.
Yep.
It feels like I'm coming home when I go up to Northwest Missouri and get to hang out with Sean and Josh
Right.
and Drew and their families and watching their kids grow up. I mean, it's just.
I mean, they call you when it's not even hunting season.
Yeah, well, that's right. They're like family.
And Sean just called me the other day. You know, it's one of those things, I mean, it's crazy.
It's just special to have these relationships and watch these relationships grow over time, and to have continued success at any place is awesome.
Right.
And to have it with people that feel like family, it's even better.
Even better.
Now next year,
I'm killing.
Hopefully he kills in the first 5 days, or he's going to roll out again.
No, Randy's not going with me. He can take his own car.